What's going on, guys? I am Journey. Thank you so much for stopping by, being here, and tuning in to the very first episode of the Journey Pages podcast. And on this show, what we're going to be talking about is a lot of things. I'll cover as many topics as I possibly can. We'll talk about friendships, relationships. But for this one, I like to be mass majority of kind of like what's going on in my mind, and we'll get into things. But for now, the reason why I ended up starting this, the people don't lost their damn minds. Like, we have a real big issue on how we talk to each other, how we address each other. You don't like how just the world is of it going through these awkward changes and how easy it's become to break the home. Listen, the the words, or at least the popular words nowadays, is traditional and non-traditional. Let's talk about it. Traditional. Man will go out, earn a keep, be the breadwinner, come back. And the lady, she would be home watching the kids, doing the cooking, cleaning, stuff like that. Right. But that's not a full entire representation of every household that existed in America for God knows how long. That's not always been the case. You know what I'm saying? Some roles have been flipped, some things have changed. But today, the dynamics have not changed so drastically to where people done decided, hey, I want to lose my mind, and everybody's filing for divorces. Oftentimes, with a lot of people, and especially ladies, they get really emotional. And when they feel like they're doing more than what they I guess are used to, or more than what their partner do. A lot of men don't necessarily communicate what they go through, so they ain't gonna know. So they're sitting up there just assuming, "Oh, well, I'm doing all this, doing all that, yada yada, and I'm not getting anything back in return." And so I'll go file out for a divorce or something else. But those relationships are always built on a condition, and a lot of dudes don't understand. Like, you shouldn't probably get involved into a relationship that is built on a condition. You should do something based on the fact of your heart and your need and your desire to want to be able to give and provide for someone. And in turn, if you go any further with that person, it's because of her need and her desire to want to be with you and stick with you, right? But that shouldn't be on a condition. It should be, if there's any condition that should be involved, is because you put the time in towards each other to get to understanding each other to where you feel that comfortable or that comfort level to then go ahead and tie the knot. But everybody goes through their ups and downs and go through many different challenges. And the issue people don't necessarily have, the issue people have nowadays is they just don't communicate, or they don't know how to communicate with one another. So, and because of that lack of communication, people have this false reality inside of their heads. And people are just going left and right and doing whatever the hell they want. And it's like, well, trust me when I say this. There are people who live such a false reality in their head of something that they was never presented. And then when you call them out on it, all of a sudden is, you're not the man I fell in love with. I don't know who you are anymore. What you thought what you thought people were. Like, it's certain things blows my mind for when you addressing people. And so here, how can you avoid a bunch of this nonsense? Well, here's a message for the ladies. If you keep listening to women or other dudes telling you about catching the bag, you're probably on the wrong track. No disrespect to you, but a man with more money ain't doesn't mean he's gonna be a better provider. Oftentimes, the more money you have, the more power you have as well. So, translation, a lot of women love to sit up there and give you their masculine energy and then talk about, well, if you provide me a safe space, that will help me to unlock my femininity. You either feminine or you masculine. There ain't no in betweens. I'm sorry, I'm just gonna keep it real. You're either genuine, you real and authentic, or you just a fool. And oftentimes, where your catch is, the more that you have, yes, as a man, the more money you have, the more your options grow. But the problem is with those options does not give you a better choice of selection of people. Translation: the more you have, that doesn't mean the better quality it becomes. The quality tends to go down because a lot of people then all of a sudden want to try to then act right, but they aren't right in their hearts and in their souls. You know what I'm saying? So it's just for those women out there who think, oh, the bag is going to give you everything I want. I could get this lifestyle. There's a lot of women out there that will give themselves up, no problem, to a rich dude if he had the money. They wouldn't have no problems opening themselves up, having a baby by a person. They wouldn't care. There's a lot of women out there like that. Trust me, I know from experience. There are a lot. So to when you get into that habit of talking like a lot of these other women, you're putting yourself out there as a person for purchase. So being high maintenance does not mean that you have high standards. It means you just comes with a cost, like a higher cost. But unfortunately, just like a lot of other things in life, the best things that you buy typically comes at a wholesale, or I should say, come at a discount. You can find better quality stuff. And what I mean, I'm going to keep it real. There's no in between about this. You can find better quality stuff at a better off discounted price than spending a whole bunch of cash for somebody who you can't connect with, you don't vibe with. It's just the outside appearance. And a lot of these people, oh, you think you deserve that bad chick, bro. You think that without doing the work, without putting the energy, you deserve this, like this 10 kind of woman. It's always about the outside and it's never about the inside. The person that's always right tends to not be the most beautiful person in the world, but she ended up becoming the most beautiful person in the world because you chose her, because you fell in love with who she was as an individual. That has nothing to do with the outside. The outside can bring all the boys to the yard, but it's who you are that keeps that one there that's going to treat you like you're the only one. And treating a woman like she the only one doesn't cost you a damn dime. It don't cost you nothing. Some things you could do out of your heart and your soul, effort, time. And that's why it's very important that you never get to a point in life where you no longer accept the bare minimum. It's through the bare minimum that you'll find who you can check what's on the inside. If somebody can't appreciate what's the bare minimum that you give, trust me, when you do something big, they'll love the big stuff, but they will not love you. They'll love the big stuff more than they'll love you. That's just a fact. It's very, very important to check people at the core of their hearts and their soul. And if your core is bad, you yourself as an individual is bad. Your core is built off the bare minimum. Those small things that you do. Check a man for being a gentleman, for crying out loud. Check a man for his willingness to be there for when you're not feeling good. He'll be, no matter what. It's kind of, I want to express it in a way where, yo, if you're feeling bad and you're not doing good, yo, holla at me. I'll stay the night. As soon as you get up, I'll watch you in your sleep. As soon as you get up, I got you. You know, so I won't hesitate to watch you down, get you suit, make sure you're freaking good. You know what I'm saying? The NyQuil, whatever you need, massage you down, whatever you need. I got no problems. I'll take care of you until you get better. It's not a problem. The small things. You want tears? Come over here. I got more than enough shoulders for you to cry on. There's nothing wrong with doing those things. But these women aren't looking for that. They're looking for somebody with a bag that's going to take them around on shopping sprees, take them up on yachts. That's really about it. They're looking to offer themselves up for services. We call them escorts, and the chicks that sell themselves on the streets. Sad part is, and I know a few of them, they come as better people than the people that's out here chirping online talking about brokies. The sad part, the ladies on the street got better hearts and souls than the individuals that's up there complaining about brokies. Keep that in your mind for a little bit. I've been fortunate enough to get around. So many people have stopped me in my tracks just to talk to me. It was either because of my smile or whatever it was that I was doing, and people just have discussions with me all the time. There used to be this guy that did meet at one spot, and he told me his story, and only really saw this guy for like 15 minutes. When I first came in, it's like 15 minutes, and he started talking, like going all kinds of crazy. You want to know what my name was. He said, you like my vibe, you like my energy. He's like, there's just something about you, bro. I'm like, yo, what? What was good? What's something up? He's like, no. He's like, I just want to tell you, you single? I'm like, yeah. He's like, good. I'm like, wait, what's up? And he told me this really heartbreaking story. And he had two marriages. His first wife cheated, his second one cheated. So he's working two jobs, trying to make ends meet. Yeah, he had his daughters and everything, and he loved and cared for them for everything. Like that was his heart, that was his soul, that was his life. And he cared for this lady, and when you like one day he came back home, she was in bed with another woman. Excuse me, I'm sorry, excuse me, she was in bed with another man. That sounded weird, but um, so you can take it, and so you went filed for divorce. And what he wanted to explain to me was that during the whole court proceedings, they wasn't even trying to hear his story. Like they didn't care. Eventually, what had happened was they took everything away from him, and the only thing he kept to his name was his car. And he lived in his car for the next 6 months until his sister took him in. He lost his children, he lost everything, and he had to fight like hell to go and get visitation rights back for his daughters. Right? And he eventually found work, did a lot of working on himself and trying to get himself back to a good mental state. Because at that point, he was broken. He got cheated on. This person done broke him and took him for all he had when he was doing everything right. And then he was able to win visitation because she went off on some kind of drug kind of situation, yada yada. And he won custody, and so he goes to work, and he's happy. He don't know, he's happy as hell. He gets to see his children, stuff like that. And there are women out there who are specifically designed to come into your life to take everything from you. They're there to take your energy. They're there to take your soul. They're there to just screw you over and treat you as just you're another piece. Take it for your money. They have no problems. And so he told me, be patient. Be patient. Because these people out here, they're not truthful. They're not real. You'll find out on your own just how serious this stuff can really be. And you don't want to screw your life up because of you believing in somebody who isn't even trying to give you back the same effort that you're trying to give to her. You know what I'm saying? Because if you do, you could end up in a worse situation than even what he was in. That could consist of prison time, that could consist of death, different things like that. Funny, when he mentioned stuff like that, I told him about a story about a person I used to date who father went through very something similar and spent over 5 years for finding out something similar to what he had found, at least what happened to him. So you got to be careful about who you're bringing into your life. And I understand a lot of people just want to live their best life and want to be happy. They follow these celebrities and they think these celebrities kind of tell them things, but these jokers can't even keep their own relationships. They can't. I'm just going to keep it real. Like a lot of these celebrities, they get involved a year or two later, they probably get married, they pop a kid real quick, and next thing you know, they filing for divorce immediately. It happens. So what's the conversation now? Prenups, right? And the topic of prenups always blows my mind because a lot of times I used to hear about stuff, and a lot of dudes that used to come across be like, "I'm not getting married until I get a prenup because these shits are crazy." Keeping it clean for a little bit, but some people get it. But yeah, it's understandable. But I always said this too. I'm like, prenups doesn't save you from child support. You know that, right? Then it gets quiet, and then I'm like, I don't think we'll do anything now. People don't want to do nothing now. And so it's just the topic of prenups need to really kind of be discussed because a lot of people don't understand what they mean. And some people think prenups is like a surefire way of not getting your stuff taken from you at all. And there are cases where those prenups get null, right? So you have to make sure you do your due diligence and then see if you really care about somebody. I firmly believe prenups is not a discussion. Because I'm sorry, I'm a type of brother where I'm not doing prenups. I refuse. I'm not going to do that for the person I care for. What I have, she has. And then I'm hopeful because you do have to have some faith in a relationship that she feels the same way about me. So if she goes out, she does her thing, she's going to share it with me too. Because we're family, you know what I'm saying? And our responsibility is to make sure our household is good. So if things has to change, like for instance, I have a kid. Or I should say, excuse me for my language. We have a child. Well, and she wants to she wants to transition to stay at home because somebody got to watch the kids. I got her back. Then I have to figure out if where I'm at is going to be good for us. If not, then I have to look for something different. So that way I can help her with that transition to get there. And then as she's working and doing the things with the kids, I could still come home and be able to pitch around the house, do whatever I need to make sure she's good. And then on some days, yo, honey, I got this. Lay down. I got you. I'll take care of everything else in the house. Don't worry about now. I got the kids. You just relax. Or you got your friends, go out with your girls. Enjoy yourself or whatever. Here's some money, here's some cash. Take care. I got you. No, good. Just make sure you watch them clowns because I don't really trust them. But you should know because I trust you. You know what I'm saying? Like small things like that, you should be able to have those discussions and be fine. And that's part of what I would consider to be a healthy household. Making sure you take care of each other as opposed to trying to command and demand things from like each other without necessarily having those real conversations, if that makes any sense. You know, a lot of people, they just want to have absolute control over you. They just want dominion. You know, that's the best way I can describe it. Dominion over your soul. They want a stronger presence into your heart than what God should have to your heart. And I can understand it to a degree, but not where it comes from a place of like ill intent. And oftentimes it does come from a place of ill intent. And then what you see oftentimes is when people aren't successful, then all of a sudden they start looking for God, right? Some people, because of the pain they go through, they turn away from God, right? And unfortunately, faith doesn't work in that doesn't work that way. Just because things hasn't gone right doesn't mean he's forsaken you or looked away. He still got your back. You just decided to go on a pathway that leads to something entirely different from what he originally intended for you. And so now you're outside of purpose. And when you're outside of purpose, bad things happen. So even when you think you are succeeding or you're getting to a place, well, you need to start making a consideration within yourself. Is this place really all that wholesome? Or I'm just trying to cover a bandage? Feel what I'm saying? Um, I don't mind people wanting to go out to try to get something a little better for themselves. It makes sense. But the place where they're coming from is so off, and they're presenting themselves as like they're like an escort service for a lot of women out there. And I have an issue with also dudes who they go on a pathway of encouragement, but their encouragement is just so it's almost like a drill sergeant. Like, you sucker, you do this. Like it don't work that way. Um I'm trying not to blow up my mic. This mic, I love this mic. But here, let me help you out. So if your message is to scream at your phone, because a lot of people are doing this on Instagram, is to scream at your phone at the dudes to get them on their right path. But your answers is the gym and get more money. Dude, so let me help all the other people that are out there who are so concerned about the gym. The gym doesn't do nothing for you here. It doesn't do nothing for you here. What it will do is to help you become more presentable to a wider sort of people. Well, which, once again, just like money, you get yourself to a position where you get more interest, but more interest does not give you better quality to choose from. So now you just created yourself into somebody that other people who already rejected you said you wasn't good enough. That you work yourself so that way those same people be like, okay, well now you're good enough. But at the end of the day, you just if it does happen, you acquire somebody that never cared for you in the first place. Now it's like, okay, now you at my level. Like, nah, B, that person's supposed to be where you at your level. But you already better here than that person ever was. And now you just degraded yourself. You say level up, but I say degrade. Listen, and some people, well, no, that's not how it works. Bro, because you haven't even bothered to even work on yourself. The popular word now is trauma, right? You haven't worked on that. You just worked on your own insecurities. And technically, trauma would be considered to be something like an insecurity, technically. But I concern trauma with something much more serious than a insecurity, right? I would call it more so chronic than anything else. You could call it a chronic insecurity. I could care less. But it's amazing how people don't bother to go and look in the mirror and simply say, instead of looking at this, maybe I just need to move different and stop looking at this type of woman, and start looking at somebody else that presents herself a little bit better. You know what I'm saying? Like, here's what's going on. I cannot be with a woman that doesn't not allow me to be in practice. Translation, I can't be with a woman who doesn't allow me to be within my own space, essentially, that I can practice my chivalry. Things I absolutely love to do. Hold the door open. If I'm going out and I'm going to pick you up, I'm going to hold the door open. I swear, don't you even dare try to fight me. Don't you even dare try it. That's like a big, massive red flag. If I'm dropping her off after doing something nice and courteous, and I'm watching her making sure she gets in, but she try to act like she on a Lifetime flick, you won't even know. Trust me, you will not even know, but I already excluded you. And then if I'm sitting around and you try to avoid me, or you need to be around somebody else that you deem that's, I say, okay or fine to be around, so you feel protected, and now you're trying to act like you came out of an episode of Surviving R. Kelly, like, do you really think a good brother gonna go for you? Like, do you really think a good brother gonna go for you? Nah, what people try to do, they live in their own awkward, false sense of reality. They tell themselves whatever they want to tell themselves, and then somehow convince themselves that the man has to still work through all that nonsense to try to create a safe space for you, so that way they can open up their natural femininity, or whatever they want to call it nowadays, right? And the crazy part is, the answer to that is here: money. Next thing you know, they all acting proper and all kind of acting right. Like, it's the wildest thing I've ever seen. So here, and yes, this is happening. It's consistent. People always want to question your intentions, different things like that, and it's like, nah, really. I just kind of I like being in my own space. And then the crazy part is, like, if you chasing, let's just say chase. This brothers don't never get in, never chase a woman. Don't even pursue. Just be in your own space, go in your own lane. You'll be fine. But here's the thing: they always want to disrespect the dude that be chasing. When that brother don't no longer chase, all of a sudden people be in their feelings. All of a sudden they get interested. Oh, this brother different. Like, if you treat them with kindness and respect, they be jokers be acting all kinds of crazy. It's like you watching a Saw movie or something else. It's wild. And then you treat them like they don't even exist, and all of a sudden he start getting all kinds of, like, excuse me for the language, jokers be feeling all kind of all gooey on the inside. I like to use a different word, but I don't want to get banned. But listen, it's sometimes certain things blow my mind, but I can't. I don't want to pin it. I don't want to try to comprehend it. Like, that's one other thing too. Like, stop trying to prove to people on the type of quality of a person you are. You good. You good. Just be good. But check. Be good to the one that wants to be good to you. Don't be good to just any, like, you could be good to a lot of people and be fine. Now we got people who trying to identify what's a good man compared to a nice man, right? But they never account for the guy that does the combination of both and seems to have the head in the right place. And why? But it's, you could be nice to people. A nice guy doesn't mean people just walk all over him. Ask yourself this question. Let's say you got a workspace, and this mindset of, okay, well, all right, this mindset of, if there's a nice guy or two nice guy, people walk all over him. Did you check with him to see what he actually values? I'm just curious. Because if it's like a job, let's say, once again, like the workforce, and it's not necessarily his desired career, once again, some people have the mindset, I know I do. Why would you fight for something that you have no intentions of staying with? You're giving yourself your energy, your time, like your peace, to a situation that you don't even necessarily care for too much. Because you know that place is all kinds of BS, right? It's not your main destination, if you want to put it that way. So you let things slide because you get your money, you get paid, you put it into other places. But if it is your career and it is something that you want to do, of course you're going to fight for it because you care about it. So I live on certain rules I kind of live by. And one of those rules is being truthful to myself, truthful to the people who allowed me to be in a position I am in now, to make the decisions for my life that I can be proud of the person I'm going to eventually become, or that I'm continuing to work towards. I'm a good man now, and I got no problem saying that. I'm very proud of the person I am right now, but I know I could continue to grow. I don't want to be with somebody who wants to stagnate that growth. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, some people get stuff caught up in their head and they don't think they can bring something more valuable to me. And the sad part is such a chill, laid back kind of brother that the only thing that you really have to do is just be supportive. It'd be nice to hear, I got your back. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate you. I'm happy when I'm around you. You know, you do a lot for me. I don't hear that at all. No matter how much you do, you don't hear that at all. And I got that from a very special person. Um, Not too long ago, they hit me up and say, "You're gonna accomplish your dreams. You'll be fine. You're gonna do everything. I got your back." And it was the most beautiful, most humble thing I've ever received. And to that nice little lady, I appreciate you more than you'll ever know. And the sad part is, if people had a little bit of that, as opposed to playing games, trust me, I would slap a ring on that without hesitation. Without hesitation. It wouldn't even take me long to make that decision. That's where, in the dating scene, certain things are just is not here anymore. You're expecting a man to kind of go out to his pockets and kind of give you the bag. There are people who grab a microphone or get their phones and telling women and telling dudes like, if you ain't spending this, you don't get that. It's always money, money, money. And the crazy part is the access to somebody's finances should be through their heart. Because if somebody cares for you, all the other stuff comes natural. But it comes natural based on the fact that you care for them too. Because I absolutely love and adore the people in my life. And I'm very overprotective of the women in my life. You feel what I'm saying? You could criticize a group of ladies. That doesn't mean you hate all women. Some people can't get stuff out of their heads. But the people that can't get stuff out of their heads, I guarantee you, I swear to you, on my life and on my soul, those same people that be, you sound like you hate all women. Like, you came out the womb. Those same people, when they look in the mirror, because it hurts them. Because they are those people that they should be criticized on. That's always been a fact. Like, if you know you good, it's not going to apply because you know that person ain't even talking about you. Because you know you good and you've been good. When women chirp about dudes, brokies, and all this other nonsense, like, I'm going to front, I ain't rich. It is what it is. But it don't bother me because I know these people ain't about nothing. What kills me, though, is when you got some people who are crazy, crazy feminists, and then they all want all men to die or all men to suffer. They don't care. They just want all men to... Stuff like that is kind of wild to me. I kind of wonder stuff like that. But those are all kind of different types of conversations, and it's just certain things that I just can't get off my mind as certain images. And some people have this visual in their head that they've been abused, that they've been taken advantage of, that they've been this, that, and the third. And sometimes it hasn't even happened to them. They just heard stories, and all the fears just kind of build up a whole false representation in their own brains, and they can't process what's going on in reality. So they're essentially living a lie, telling a lie. And there are people out there who are trying to bring other men down. Like, on a serious note, whether it be false accusations and other different types of stuff. Like, these are serious stuff going on out there. There's a lot of dudes out there that swear on their lives that they're good men, but they know they're not. They'll go out to other countries. They'll have sex with underage girls, whatever the case may be. I hear so many things, like certain things I didn't know until somebody was telling me certain stuff. And like, as certain things are just new to me because it's not really. I'm an American dude. Like, bro, I'm into gaming. I'm into art. I'm in doing music. I love doing a lot of things. Hell, I'm doing a podcast. But certain things I don't necessarily. I'm not the guy that's always into the news. As I got older, I get more into the news. But when you hear this type of stuff, and then a lot of dudes out here trying to act like they're good, it's a fun fact. So, we love to knock on stay-at-home moms nowadays. For whatever the reason, I have no idea. We love to knock on single mothers, or how they done so much irreparable harm, irreparable harm, I should say, to their sons. Blah blah blah. Um, Here's a fact for some guys: a lot of dudes be out there mess around with so many different chicks, be screwing them up left and right. And oftentimes you get introduced to the chick that's been through so much nonsense, so much pain, so much that she's kind of broken. So that at least the good man to kind of fix it. But here's what happened to these to these dudes, or these self-proclaimed good guys. So they mess around with a lot of females, and then they'll catch a kid. They're either going to run, or if they step up to the plate, then they transform themselves into what they perceive to be the right dude. And then they teach their daughters, which is one good thing they can do, teach their daughters on how not to find a man or who they were. But those same guys can never teach her how to find a good man, because he's trying to teach her how to find a dude that he never was. People love to play games with percentages. They talk about, well, single home moms, or the children from single home moms, they're more in prison and stuff like that. I'm done with this crap. It's so freaking stupid. All this other, listen, every household needs both the father and the mother. Trust me, I've dated somebody that had parents. Well, I should say they had a mother. And some people used to say, "Well, woman don't need a husband, a man to raise a child." Well, also a man don't need need a mother to raise a child. But guess what? The child needs both. Well, no woman can teach a man how to be a man. He has to find that on his own. No man can teach a woman how to be a woman. We all have a role to play in society. We all have a role to play in our lives and to our children's lives. And one thing that's helped me out so much as an individual, and one thing that started changing for me like crazy the moment I started thinking like this, when it came to friends, associates, different stuff, I would ask myself, can I trust this person around my children if I had kids? That answer came back no. I'm not talking to this person. If I can't trust a person to be good to my children, or at least I know this person got some mental nonsense going on, and I wouldn't be able to trust them around my kids, I'm good. No matter how great that person tries to perceive themselves to be, if there's just something about them that I don't feel comfortable, that if I had kids that I can trust them around, then why would I put myself around that situation? The reason being, you think like this because, like old friends, knowing how some people moved and how some people acted, I know they couldn't possibly be good influences to, let's say, my son or to my daughter. You know what I'm saying? So because of stuff like that, and I know if I'm still conducting let's say, spending my time around them, eventually they're going to get closer to home. And when it comes to home, I'm a whole different kind of a brother. I have a short temper. I'm going to keep it real. But I worked so hard on myself that you wouldn't be able to tell. I'm a mad chill kind of brother. But when it gets close to home, that temper goes up like this. So it just makes sense to continue to foster a space to where I can still be the best man I could possibly be, and I'll continue to work on that. And my mother's a single mother. My father died when I was 9 years old. That's why some of these conversations that goes out just kills me half the time. Because a lot of women sit up there telling themselves, well, now we got choices. We make our own money. Now we got choices. Listen, there's been people out there going out to work. Good women that went out to go and work because they had to. And some other women did it because they wanted to. The problem has been for certain positions like CEO and other different things, those positions have been locked out to only white people in power. So you don't see a lot of black CEOs, black men, different things like that. It's not just a woman issue. It's an issue all over, for crying out loud. But hold up. So when you talk about, and I've heard this before, people trying to give advice, well, we got choices now. We make our own money. We don't have to settle for less or whatever. No, you made the choices to get with who you got with previously. That's all up on you. And no disrespect, since when you getting money equated to you getting better standard than an individual. Like, nah, B, you just raised the price of entry. That's all you done, because you as an individual in your heart and your soul, you still, no disrespect, you're still trash. No good person is going to come out and say stuff like this. No good man is going to be like, you know what? These chicks, you know, I got all this money. You got to make just as much you got to make just as much as me to stay with me, to be with me, to even talk to me. Ain't nobody talking like that. Or a man ain't got nothing to do with money, B, but everything to do with who you are as an individual. Any man that's checking anything different, like, oh, there'd be dudes out there, my woman got to work. She got to do something, bro. When you hear artists sing songs like I love her because she got her own, red flag. You love her because of who she is, not for the fact that she has her own. The fact of the matter is that you don't want to feel alone, that you're putting all the work in. So you want somebody to be there with you, or at least for you, to be putting in so that way you ain't putting all the effort in yourself. But no disrespect to some of them brothers out there. If she's about you anyway, she's going to do it regardless. Never love a woman for the fact that she has her own. Love her for the fact that she's willing to step up to the plate and be there for you, and whatever means that you need to, well, we need to do in order to make this family work. Because that's what it means to be a family. Sacrifice. It's called common sense. And so they love listening to Usher. They love doing a whole bunch of other nonsense. And they love following trends. And they want to be trendy. A lot of women want to get into competition with each other. A lot of brothers, this is what literally happens. So like, if a brother's doing good, yo, bro, like, how'd you find that? You want to know? All right, you tell her, all right, cool. We don't, no dude should be getting, no dude should be getting jealous of another guy. What you use it as motivation. That's what usually happens. We don't get jealous of each other. We use it as motivation to better ourselves. A guy that's getting jealous or feeling away, that's a red flag. That's a red flag. Massive red flag. So I still enjoy, and you know, I still enjoy talking to people. It's a beautiful thing to do. It's fun, but I hate labels. So some people might take me as an introvert or whatever the case may be. Blah blah blah. The only thing I want to be known as in my life is a good son, it's a good brother, good uncle, is a good man, is a great husband, right, and a wonderful father. You know what I'm saying? Like, the only other title that I want to have is a servant of God. That's about it. Everything else can kick rocks. I'm sorry, I'm just going to keep it real. So, here, once again, the main ultimate message to ladies and men, essentially, and I'll talk more about this stuff as I go along, maybe different other episodes. Check a man for who he is, not for what he has. Check a woman for who she is. That's it. Don't check her for what she looks at on the outside. I mean, if she's attractive, she's attractive. You'd be surprised. People who might not consider some people attractive, the moment they start talking, they sound soft, they sound affectionate, they seem like they care. That beauty shoots up like crazy. You find a chick that she's bad from top to bottom, and when she start talking and all the stuff that come out of her look like diarrhea, that visual of that beauty goes drop like a rock. Trust me, that happens more than enough occasions. And a lot of brothers can attest to that. Like, nothing drops someone's beauty more so than ignorance, intolerance, incompetence, ignorance, stupidity, trifling, stuff like that. Stuff like that. But real talk, it's a big red flag when women just sit there and talk about, well, we make this money now, we have options, you know, we have choices now. Like, money was the thing, because men normally come to you, they normally try to get your attention. So in the Black American culture, I don't know how it is over Africa. I'm quite sure it's very similar, or even in white culture, because yes, some people do have their own culture, at least over here in America. I'm quite sure they do. There's no such thing as arranged marriages. I know that's more of a Indian thing, but even from some people I've talked to, it's not mandatory. People do have options. So my concern, or at least my thought process is how you didn't have a choice. And this is where the problem becomes also with a lack of accountability. You chose that person. Oh, I was lied to. I was this. No, people tell you on what they are. They tell you who they are. They do. They may not say this is exactly how I am. This is exactly how I do it. No. They don't do that. People are going to show you things, and it's up to you to be able to see it. But oftentimes, based on what somebody has, you'll overlook the other stuff. So, for instance, who says it's not good to be good anymore? We want more. Women. Women love to say it's not good enough to be a good man anymore. Right? So you don't want a good man. You already just said that. That's not everybody, but that's more than enough. So with that being said, there's women out there who would take a dude that would cheat on them, that will beat them if he had money. They'll choose him over the guy that will show up, report to her every single day, not making that much, but he will be there and commit to her, period, regardless throughout anything. She'll take the dude with more money that will beat on her, but once again, that's not everybody. That's not everybody. So there's that issue. And then for a lot of guys, when they choose the wrong direction, men will tell it like how it is. That's one thing women don't normally do for each other. So sometimes it blows them on. A lot of women, they're in so much competition with each other for whatever the reason. It's a lot of jealousy there. And I think they kind of hurt themselves. But a lot of men also, sometimes you sit down and hurt each other too. Like, yo, so to our older dudes out there, stop telling younger guys to bring more to the table. You're setting them up for failure. Tell them more than anything, you check somebody at their soul and at their heart. You know what I'm saying? Check them for who they are. People keep talking about this conversation about bringing things to the table. No woman should be bringing anything to the table. I'm sorry. I'm going to keep it real. I'm going to keep it real, gentlemen. I'm going to keep it real. I love a lot of brothers, but I'm going to keep it real. Brothers shouldn't be bringing nothing to the table either. What you should be doing, if you're actually interested in each other, is getting down, talking to each other, and checking, yo, what are your dreams? Like, what do you like to do with yourself? What about your pastime? Like, what's your favorite color? Do like all the small stuff. What do you see yourself in the next 10 years, right? You don't even have to talk about finances for crying out loud. It doesn't even have to be that way. You can talk about finances on a second date or some crap. It doesn't have to be that serious. Like, people are so freaking stuck up in finances because it's like people act like you have to have a crap ton of money in order to have a family. No, you just have to have support. You have to have companionship. That's why it's important to see where somebody is at mentally with how they view relationships, where they're currently at. I'm just going to keep it real. It's called using your brain, using common sense, and it will help, especially for some of our older people, to start telling folks, especially younger people, don't bring anything to the table. Sit down, talk to each other, try to get to know one another. See what you value. It's important to check core values. Ask about family. Ask about how you view your family. Or you can even ask about traumas if they feel uncomfortable with it. All right, cool. Well, you sound like, what have you done to grow for yourself? Like, from that time then to this point now, how do you see yourself? How do you feel about yourself? Do you love yourself? All right. Stuff like that, I think, is very, very important. And so if you're not willing to do that, why should anybody talk to you about finances? And even more so still, like I never met a woman who wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. Not initially. I think situations get people to be that, but some people might want to, and that's fine with me. I'm the type of brother where I'm like, if she wants to be a stay-at-home mom, I'm cool with it. If she wants to be a working mom, I'm cool with that too. Just talk to me. So that way we can plan together and make something realistic for each other, right? And that's what I miss more so now than ever, being able to have the opportunity to talk to someone and work on a plan with each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know I want to be here. I like her vibe. I like who she is as a person. And so I don't mind going out and doing like the extra stuff, like to give her something so she go out and go get her hair done, you know what I'm saying? Or go to a spa to go here or something like that. But I want to make sure watch her when she goes out these parties because some people get crazy, and sometimes a lot of people want freedom. So yeah, I believe in some form of freedom. That's fine, but when you with somebody, you shouldn't be on the arms of another man. Same thing, vice versa. So it's weird, but I'm a different type of person when I'm taken. I don't like nobody being on me when I'm taken. Sometimes I have an issue with that now, but I'm just saying, like, some people I'm cool with because I like the energy, the vibe that they give off. It's not that. Some people give off a possessive vibe. Like, no, you're gonna have to get on my lane. You know what I'm saying? You mine, can't nobody touch you. This, that, and third. Like, and then you kind of feel that's the vibe, but they never really kind of express that to you. They're just trying to possess you while they got their arms on another man too. Like certain things are just a little bit weird to me. But you could tell where people in their energy comes off from. Some people just grab you for information. You know what I'm saying? Or just like, just want to get to know you, something like that. And then, certain things are fine. But some people really be going out of their way or doing some extra stuff for like, it's not a good feeling. And, I've been around enough where I can tell the different types of like grabs, different types of looks somebody will give you, expressions, stuff like that. And sometimes I feel, I don't know, it's like a sixth sense, like a gift from the man upstairs. I can feel when something about to go down. Like somebody got this vibe or this energy. I don't think they know they're giving it all, but it's like about to happen. And so I would do things to try to slip and avoid because I know something's going to happen, and eventually something happens regardless anyway. And so it's what it is. But usually during those experiences, I learn a lot, and I typically grow as an individual. So it's not too bad. But look, I know I've been kind of going a little bit here and there, but I just kind of felt like it was important to kind of express stuff. Never for a dude, don't get involved with a woman who takes your energy away from you. Get involved with a woman who wants to stand by you, and she'll be damned if anybody else is going to stand by you but her. It's not hard, ladies. Sometimes all you got to do is just stand there and make a small conversation like, hey, how was your day? That was it. And trust me, I can take care of the rest. Don't be so concerned about everybody else who's looking at you. Be proud. Be proud to stand there. Be proud to have that conversation. Be proud to talk. And then sometimes what I know, I sit in this position, like this is what happens to me all the time. I don't know who the hell I'm talking to. Like, I don't know who this person is going to eventually become. Like, I just don't know who this person is. Some people like once again, I'll just tell y'all. People act like they come out of a Lifetime flick or they come out of an episode of Surviving R. Kelly. People are crazy victims. They'll keep weapons on their persons and different things like that. Like, why would I want to talk to people like this? Like, come on, common sense. But if that's part of your thing because you're so scared about some potential that can happen to you, my thing to a lot of those women would be is a lot of times with women, they see a guy that's taken, they think, oh, he's fine, he's checks. Nah, that person could be just as abusive and a lot of times even more abusive than the person that's just sitting there single. It is common sense. Common sense does not seem to apply in a bunch of situations. So some people are in relationships and they can't feel for anything. It's been consistent. It's going on. I'm not going to front. It's going on. Some people are in relationships, but they are very abusive. And some people like moth to a flame because they think, oh, well, somebody is saying, oh, this person checks out. And the next thing you know, you're sitting up there trying to act, oh, I don't know about this person's intention. He might do something while you're standing next to a person that will do something. So it's just, it's like, yeah, okay. And then you're like, all right, no problem. And then you get to see who people are for what they show you. That's one gift. And I'm going to be real. That's for people that are, let's just say, not in the best financial situation. Because now all of a sudden, if you make anybody that makes less than, let's just say 80K is broke for whatever reason. But let's just say you're not making the biggest amount of money or you're working graduating towards something, right? Because everybody's all money nowadays. There's no substance, nothing else. It's just all about money. Use that situation. If a woman identifies you as, let's say, broke, use that to your advantage. For a man, you know who supports you when you have nothing to your name. The issue is if you attain everything without anyone, when you finally get to that promised land, you won't value anything because you did it without people, right? And I think that's what happens with a lot of, let's just say, successful people and the prenups and this type of conversations that happen because people are always trying to cover their asses, excuse me, their backs. I might have to edit that out, but that's what typically happens. So it's like, what's the real answer for all this? And I can't give you an answer because everybody's a little bit different. But all I can say is just that you gotta start understanding your space, right? And start moving different when you start seeing people act really kind of awkward and funny. Move different. Let them be in their own kind of self-destructive mentality. You owe nothing to a community. I'm a black man, but I owe nothing to my community. No disrespect. I love my color of skin. I love where I come from. I love people in my family. I love a lot of people, but I owe nothing to them to be miserable with somebody that treats me like garbage. Find somebody who's going to treat you right, and it don't matter if their color of skin. No disrespect. I could care less what anybody say. They could talk about their own this and talk about their own that. When people trip about how being with their own is the best thing, period, that's to me is another form of bigotry. What matters in this world is that you find somebody who wants to care and care for you, who genuinely, in their heart, wants nothing more than to be with you. Find that person. It don't matter what kind of skin and color they have or whatever part of the world they're from. That's the beautiful thing about life. That we can love anybody, that you can find it, no matter where you are, on what side of the ocean, or whatever. And that's how, that's how it should be. There's no other way to put it. So, that was good, actually. I'm good with this. Listen, life is way too short. And to close this off, we'll talk about friendships. We'll talk about a lot of stuff. Trust me, the whole relationship dynamic, you'll probably hear me repeat a bunch of whole same stuff. I got no issues. But life is way too short, man. To the men out there, it's way too short. To the ladies out there, it's way too short. Money's not going to solve your issue. Bulking up is not going to solve your issue. The gym is not going to solve your issue. I'm a skinny brother. Look at me. I'm a skinny brother. But when I hit the basketball court, I could go all day. I don't need a drink or nothing. And the funny part also is I don't breathe naturally. Some people think I think I went to the doctors and they did a little test to make sure if I had asthma or something like that. And my breathing was not strong. It was weak as hell. It was super, super weak. And they're like, you sure you don't have asthma? I'm like, nah, I could just hit the basketball court and I could do all day. It was like 10 o'clock. I was like, I could go out and 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night. I'll still be out there. I got no problems. And it's like, yeah. I'm like, yeah, my body's kind of weird. So everybody's a little bit different. Everybody is different. And bulking up is not your answer. And I'm sorry, bro. Like when people step to the trouble, like, I want somebody bad. I need 6 foot this, 6 figures that, 6-inch this, that, or whatever nonsense. A lot of those women just still want to be in the club. And they think they need a bodyguard next to them in order to enjoy themselves. And a lot of times they just want that brother so they could go ahead and mess around and do some other stuff. Nah, be like, give us somebody that's smart. Somebody that's smart ain't in the club. She ain't in the club. She got better things to do with her life. You know what I'm saying? Oh, somebody come and try to rob the house and stuff like that, whatever the case. There's always some crazy extreme. It's not like anything can happen. Go buy ADT. Get some rings. Do a bunch of other stuff. If somebody does come through, all right, put up your dues, put up something, go ahead, grab a knife, go ahead, go start cutting things up. Do whatever you got to do. Not to promote violence. I'm just saying, if you got to protect your home, you got to protect your home. Anybody can protect their home. You don't have to be some freaking 6'9" brother to go ahead and protect your home, bro. Like, just because the tree is tall don't mean you can't cut it down. I want to keep it real. I mean, when you're from the streets, you're from the streets. It is what it is. We don't give a crap how big or how tall you are. It don't matter. Like, everybody get cut down at some point. So it's just kind of be confident in who you are and start looking in the mirror and start really evaluating not necessarily what the world is going to give to you, but how you're going to move in the space to find your own. You know what I'm saying? Let the world be what it is. It's not even that serious. You don't need to worry about changing it. What you need to worry about is making sure you stay in the right of mind, because the man upstairs love throwing things your way when you least expect it. And if you ain't going to be that person, you're going to be so caught into everything else to not be able to catch it when it's there. Oof, good luck to you. I'm just going to keep it real. Same thing, vice versa, ladies. Look, one last piece before I get off, and this is, I appreciate a lot of the women out there. A lot of women really try, and we understand it. Especially a lot of us black men, we understand. A lot of women go through a lot of stuff, and I think one of the issues has been we've become too understanding. But I want to stress this: a lot of y'all work, and a lot of y'all put the time in. Y'all do a lot of good stuff, but don't let social media change that very man. Some people are so fine, so gorgeous, and they listen to the social media and they transform themselves into what these people want them to be, and then they lose those qualities about themselves that made them special in the first place, that made a man want to go, you know what, I want to put a ring on this person finger. It made you so freaking special that anybody could want to be with you. And that's the sad part, because seeing so many wonderful people that look amazing, and it could be either through maybe people getting fear because people are getting older, or maybe it's just people don't want light to pass them by, or whatever the case may be. And some people still want to be, in that lifestyle, in that space. But I'm telling you, that lifestyle it's just never something like, I'd rather be financially set as opposed to having generational wealth. I want to be good. A lot of people that have generational wealth, their kids come out all kinds of crazy. They come up with all different types of names. I'm waiting for somebody to call their kid cheddar cheese. Like, people be doing all the wildest stuff nowadays. And I think at some point, some people just lose their soul along the way. So I'd rather get to a space that's quiet, open. If I want to have like a party or bring friends and family over, I ain't got to worry about people down the block or anything else like that. I ain't got to worry about the cops on the street, trying to chat people, trying to profile, whatever the case may be, because that's what happens in the city for the most part. But real talk, women, some people are just, I ain't gonna front, just amazing. And some are here in the States, and they're amazing. Some people are amazing. They come from outside of the state, but they're here. Some people are just flat out gorgeous. But it's just one of the things that are missing. Keep this in mind. Everybody's got style, but there's a lack of class. There's a lack of grace. There's a lack of humility. There's stuff like that. Those small things, I swear, you knock those out, there ain't no point going overseas, baby. I'm just going to keep it real. But at the same token, that doesn't mean that, hey, hey, you might as well go out. Go out. For God's sake, if you go out. But for those who are really here, and it's like, well, how can I do that? Do the things that people aren't doing, essentially. Translation. You're a good person. Use that to your advantage. Just be humble. Do that to your advantage. The problem is what you value. You value money, or you value somebody you can be able to grow old with and take care of you no matter what. Just going to keep it real. Style. Everybody seems to got it now. Everybody's doing fashion. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm down for that. Actually, I think that's pretty cool. Actually, there's a lot of people who are really fashionable. I think that's really dope. I like that a lot. And then there are just a lack of grace, lack of class. I'm saying? It's hard to respect people like that. It really is. But I understand a lot of different people and a lot of different perspectives and different stuff like that. So just remember, there's a lot of beautiful women out there. But it's hard as hell to find a good woman. And the good woman ain't got nothing to do with all that beauty. It's just the beauty is like the icing on the cake. And a lot of dudes, they get caught up in the nonsense and the beauty, and they come out feeling all kinds of burnt. And so instead of, they can't necessarily find themselves to a point where they could commit to another individual. So they screw around and they screw people up. And then it's like this kind of cesspool that goes all across. So there's a lack of accountability everywhere. And for the gentlemen, for the men out there, there's a lack of chivalry. They keep saying chivalry is dying, but there's a lot of dudes that ain't trying to do it. So if you're that type of brother, be like, oh, well, it's equality. You do it. Nah, don't do that. Help out. She says she got it. Cool. Let her get it. It's nothing wrong. A lack of wanting to provide and protect, right? And providing ain't always a money situation. There's a whole lot of other things you could do as well. And as you're working to kind of grow yourself, and if you find somebody that's want to be in that process with you, because now they want to call it struggle love because people are freaking idiots. But if you find that person who wants to be with you while you're in that process of growing, never, under any circumstances, tell that woman no. I'm dead serious. Like, it'd be so freaking, yo, this thing could be so easy for a whole lot of women. Like, I know things ain't be right, but I want to be there. I want to be there every step of the way. If a brother tell you no, cool. I'm just gonna keep it real. It's that simple. But that's my 2 cents. There's a whole lot of other topics and discussions I could sit up there talk about. I think that's probably about it because I think it probably went on for way too long. But yeah, don't get involved with people that look to break you down. And some of y'all ladies, y'all already got it. I'm telling y'all, some of y'all already got it. You're just letting all the noise get to you. So don't let that happen. Keep going about your pathway. And even if things don't work out, at least you put the time and effort in. And it's cool to then at that point say, okay, I did everything I could. And then you could go ahead and walk away. If that's something because I think everybody should be entitled to that. You put whatever you can in. So that way when you walk away, you don't feel like you did wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like you feel at peace with everything. That's what you should be doing. And that's when cases of divorce should happen. When everything is done, you feel good at peace. People be like, well, I'm good being like, I could die with my cat, whatever the case. Let people chirp, let people do what they do. But if you know you're good, you know you're humble, you know you got that stuff going on for you, that's going to be your greatest tool, your greatest asset. I'm going to keep it real with you. I'm not going to lie. So at that point, dude, if you like, in brothers, like if you know you're good and good at heart, you know you got to answer to a higher power, but don't forget this. You may have to answer to God, but you also got to answer to her too. Keeping it real. All right, so much stuff, but that's it for me. Thank you so much for stopping by, being here. I'm tuning in once again. I'm Journey, your host here for the Journey Pages. We'll run this again, but if you need to catch me anywhere else, just hey, stay here. I gotta see about other places I'll end up going to, but yeah, big shout outs to y'all guys. Just everything. Thank you so much. Mad love. Take care of yourselves and each other. And I hope to catch you guys on the next one. Till then, later.